What is good with the YouTube? It is your boy, Sean Rock to the represent Mandatory Thrive HGBM because every day it is mandatory for us to thrive. And I'm back again with another video. And in this video, I'm going to talk about friendships, intimate relationships, family member relationships, business relationships, and even associate relationships. And I want to give a disclaimer before I dive into this. I believe that human interactions in relationships is one of the best experiences that we can have on this earth. I truly believe that. I believe that every connection and contact that we get is one that we should be grateful for. But I also want to talk truth on my channel and make sure that it's mandatory that we thrive, because a saying that I've been saying is that living in truth is hard, but living in truth is liberating, because when you deal with truth, you're able to come up with a proper strategy for any context that you're dealing with. So in this video, I want to talk about two things that we have to be aware of when we're dealing with relationships. We have to learn to protect our confidence and our peace from what I would call energy vampires, people who steal in relationships, and people who I would call confidence and peace takers. These are the type of people who, when you get around them, they use gaslighting tactics, right, to confuse you and manipulate you. They are lacking in areas of themselves, so when they communicate in the conversation, you'll hear layers of subliminal messages, maybe about your own insecurities, right, that will trickle down to basically bringing you to a detriment in your own confidence. And what you will see is that, or understand, is that you will feel exhausted when you get around these people, when you leave these people. You have to protect your peace and your confidence from these people. Now, sometimes you're going to have to engage with people like this, right? So it's going to have to be the internal work that you do. Let me give you an example. I don't consider myself particularly gifted in any real area. I just believe that I work hard to do what I do. But anyways, I'll have encounters with men who will perceive me as a threat, and they will layer the conversation with subliminal ideologies that they believe subtly attacks my supposed insecurities. But back to what I said in the initial part of the video, when we are living in our truth, right, and we're living in a truth-oriented world, we accept our insecurities and created solutions for our insecurities already. That's the thing. You have to be proactive instead of reactive. So if you're proactive about your insecurities, there's really nothing that anybody could say to attack them. But what I'm saying is that even still, if you're proactive, it's still going to affect the trajectory of where you're going, because they're building up layers and layers of detriment to tear you down, to try to boost themselves up. So a lot of people will do this. Also, a lot of people will do this to establish dominance in relationships. You know, a lot of times I've seen situations where women will literally utilize a man's flaws and his own deception as a way to mask and hide their deception, and men not even know it. Let me say this again. I've seen situations where women will literally use men's flaws and own deceptions to get off their own things, and the man not even be aware of it. Right? Because he has a philosophy that doesn't understand the tactics of women. And a lot of times when I talk about these different things, a lot of times women say, you know, all women are like not like that. We know that, right? Just like all men are not like what women say, right? But we do know that women are a lot more strategic than they appear. And then here's a twofold thing. If women are highly emotional, right, creatures, and then they revert to these tactics, how can they give you a philosophy on how they're not that? Because emotion is based on feeling. Feeling doesn't have a standard. Feelings go with wind. So already understanding that, how can you put things in perspective or hear out the perception of a woman when already emotion has no standard? Emotion goes based on how I feel. If this feels this, then I'll feel this. So you have to be careful in your encounters, men and women alike, because men do the same thing, right? We manipulate situations, right? We use our charismatic skills to manipulate situations. We gaslight, right? Like we prey on the insecurities of others and down talk. But you have to protect your peace and confidence. So let me give you a couple ways to protect your peace and confidence before I, finish this video. Just be aware of energy vampires. If you're in a conversation and before you can get to the high point of the excitement of what you're talking about, and they're already cutting you off, that's a big sign that they're an energy vampire, because it's not mutual, or they don't care about what you're about to say, right? If you feel like your energy just feels different when you leave them, steer clear of them. If you sense competitive energy, this is one of the worst things to be around. I hate people that compete with me. Now, if you outwardly compete with me, I don't have a problem with it. But I hate people that compete with me. I have enough fucking trouble competing with my fucking self. Why do I need you in my space competing with me? I don't have time for that.